what kind of business income is lost because we have a breach at an organization, and then you have to rebuild that trust.
It can happen to anyone, even if we're small. Small businesses, I think, are actually more at risk than medium to large size because they're easier to target. Hello, everybody. I am Stephen Harrington, Dakota, the diva of insurance, and we have Miss...
Hi, Bobby Fernandez here with you today. I don't have a special name, though.
Bobby, sometimes you just have to create your own and get people to say it.
It depends on what the day is, what my special name happens to be, who you ask.
Who do you have? Sometimes I'm the bee, like that's why I have a little bee logo.
Yeah.
All kinds of things. But diva tends to work the best. It's the most politically incorrect one I can come up with.
Yeah.
So what we're going to talk about today, friends, is cyber. I think it's a vastly missed coverage in a lot of agencies because we don't understand it. And I know when I was on the agency side, once we started really talking about it and educating each other, and even in personal lines and commercial, talking about the differences or what cyber covers, people were like, it covers what? And we were able to really offer it to our insurance and help them understand why they needed it. So I wanted to have Bobby start with a fun fact that she found about cyber claims.
So I was doing some research to prepare for our time together today. And I thought it was really interesting that the average cybersecurity insurance claim cost for small to medium sized organizations is $345,000, but an average claim for all organizations is $812,000. And these are facts from May of 2023. So pretty current. And that's a lot of money to just have laying around. I don't know about you, but I don't got $800,000 laying around in my bank account to pay a cyber insurance claim.
Especially not for, yeah, it's ridiculous. And I think that we're seeing it more and more too. Like everybody knows cyber, like scams and phishing emails and whatever, but what can it really lead to? I have property where we have our trailer. It's a camping community, and everybody has a lot there, and it's part of an association. Well, they were redoing all the electrical in one of the lots or one of the areas, whatever it is. There's three different areas, and one of the areas was getting redone, and the project was almost complete. And somebody in the front office got an email from who she thought was the contractor saying, "Hey, we can't finish the work until we get paid. Like, we need the second half of payment before we finalize, blah, blah, blah." And she's like, "Oh, yeah, I did the first half, whatever." And they're like, "Well, no, we need it wired to us." And so she clicks a link and she gets the information and she goes to the bank. And this is where it gets fishy and weird to me, but life happens. Goes to the bank, which requires a double signature because she wasn't she wasn't an officer. It was my understanding, an officer of the organization, but she had signing authority. So she actually sent over $100,000 by wire to the place that was not actually the contractor. A couple of days later, the contractor's like, "Where's my payment?" She goes, "I sent it." And he goes, "Sent it where?" She's like, "I wired it." He goes, "I just need a check." And panic suddenly ensued. Then there was conversations about, is there cyber? Do we have protection? Was there insurance in place? All of these things go on. And basically the association was going to assess everybody in the development for the loss. And they were like, no, no, no. Like, that's dumb. Where's your insurance? You should have had a policy for this. And they had a small policy that paid a little bit of it, but the rest of it was had to be covered by the association, and they lost out on about $80,000.
I mean, that just shows how vigilant we all need to be, right? Like,
Right.
I think that when it comes to cyber and ransomware and those kinds of things, like these criminals are getting so smart and they have the ability to really look real. And if you are not hyper vigilant and we're not training our people to be vigilant about those things, testing them to make sure that they're not clicking links that they don't need to be clicking or asking the question first. But a lot of agencies maybe don't even have internally somebody who reviews those things. So and this is for all organizations, not even insurance agencies. I mean, this blog is about how do we sell this coverage? I mean, most people, even just watching this blog, may just be afraid for themselves in their own organization. I mean, if the fear of us being taken out by somebody just accidentally clicking a link or losing $100,000 payment because we didn't verify should scare everybody enough that now they have enough sticky story to sell some cyber.
And even on the agency side, I mean, I had an agent call one day and be like, why did you need a bunch of Target gift cards? I'm like, I don't need Target. Like, I would love a Target gift card. What do you mean? And they're like, well, I've got an email from you asking me to go to get some Target gift cards because you needed to send them out to some people, but you didn't have time to go to the store. And I'm like, no, 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 that's a spam. Like, that's spam, that's phishing. They're trying to get the card numbers. That's horrible. Don't ever do that. I will tell you personally if I need you, the lovely reception person, to stop what you're doing and go buy gift cards for me. And
Well,
it's
and
like,
we're recording this during the holiday season, right? So
yeah,
right now it is rampant out there. And especially when we're just operating at such a fast pace, right? We have to slow down and verify those things and understand what's going on. And I know you have some really awesome claim examples to share with us.
yeah. I mean, I pulled a few different claims examples from the interwebs because I'm 100 years old, so I like to use the technical words. The
Did you
interweb.
dial up to get them?
I did. It was an AOL and it was like, beep.
Sometimes I just play that sound in the background because I
Yeah,
miss it so much.
because it makes me feel warm and fuzzy, and I can slow my life down like by 100 paces because it
You
was
got
gonna get
mail.
nowhere fast. And I was like, shut up, I got mail. And then it would like slowly download the photo. So a couple of things. I think stories sell when it comes to insurance and coverage because a lot of people don't understand why they need the coverage. But if we can make something relatable, it might. So a couple of that I pulled was a nonprofit food bank had a security breach. A national nonprofit food bank became the victim of hackers who placed malware on the organization's servers. This allowed them to access donor information, including credit card and security code numbers, with data going back 3 years. The breach resulted in an estimated $847,000 in damages. This is a nonprofit food bank. They probably don't have $847,000 sitting in their savings account to spend on a cyber breach.
And that number is pretty much in line with the fun fact that I shared earlier.
Yes. A medical group received phishing emails containing malware. Despite having antivirus software, the virus was not detected or stopped, leading to unauthorized access to protected health information. The breach put the medical group in violation of HIPAA law, resulting in a potential of up to $590,000 in damages.
Wow.
This one's a huge one. A clothing and accessory manufacturer that conducts half of its business online suffered a data breach. Hackers accessed the company's virtual shopping carts over a 6-month period, stealing personal information, including credit card numbers and security codes, from over 500,000 customers. This breach is estimated to cost the company up to $10.8 million in fines, litigation, investigations, and crisis management. So Bobby, I took your 800,000 and 10x'd it, right? We're now up to 10.8 million.
And I think that's the average, right? And sometimes it's just the litigation and the legal fees. And I mean, just with the legal fees alone, you can reach that limit depending upon the size of the organization. It's really scary because I think all of our financial data, even at a personal level, is very exposed in a lot of ways because how many of us just drive through the Starbucks parking lot and like, boop, here, scan my thing, load my card,
Bloop, bloop.
boop, boop, right? Like everybody was so worried that they were going to implant chips in us and, scan us. And now we're just doing it with our phones.
Yeah. The other one that comes to mind is MGM Properties just had a big cyber attack where I don't know the exact situation, but basically somebody got into their system and was able to turn power on and off. They were able to access identifiable information for people. I'm an MGM rewards member, so I got a notification that I should be monitoring my own credit. And if
Mm,
I think something's weird, that I should probably order a credit report. But if you think about it, how much is it costing them now to do the damage repair? Like, tell people it's safe to come back and spend your
mm,
money at MGM. All these hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people are getting emails now saying your information may have been compromised.
That's true. That's a great point because, what is the business impact when something like that happens? And do your customers actually trust you? I think that'd be some interesting fun facts for our next blog on cyber. The facts around, what kind of business income is lost because we have a breach at an organization, and then you have to rebuild that trust and re-get those customers over again. And that can be impactful in and of itself, not just the claim.
Right. My favorite one that I remember because it impacted me the most was I ended up with like 5 new debit cards and credit cards in a 6 month period in 2014 ish. Like, so about 10 years ago, after the Target and Home Depot that
Mhm.
happened, the Target one I did a little bit more research on, and it was an HVAC contractor that was installing heating, ventilation, or air conditioning. I think it had something to do with refrigeration, maybe. I don't know exactly, but they were installing some things, and an employee of the HVAC company opened a malicious email that had spyware in it, and it somehow got into Target's internal systems and in their internal network and was able to scrape credit card information every time somebody was using a credit card at the store. And
Yeah,
so it wasn't even Target that started the problem, it was a third
it's a
party
third party.
contractor. And who would have thought the HVAC company would have infected Target to? So,
Well, attached to their network,
right,
right? So
right.
so they're using their interwebs as a contractor. I'm attached to your network, and now you don't know what my due diligence is. Have I been trained not to open up things? We just don't know. And I think that's why training is so important around cyber, those kinds of things, for our people that we're selling cyber insurance to. I mean, it
Mhm.
is it is so important that they have that training, that they have that understanding, that they know that they have to be diligent in these situations. And I think sharing sharing stories like this about things, and at some point somebody has been impacted. I think we've all
Mhm.
received one of those letters that said your information may have been compromised. And so it's not a matter of if our information is going to be compromised, it's when our information
Right.
is compromised at this point.
Well, and Target is estimated to have affected 40 million customers' credit and debit card information and 70 million customers' names, addresses, and phone numbers.
Mhm.
So can you imagine even if it just cost $1 to notify each person because you had to mail, there was mail, there was email, there was all these things involved depending on the level you were affected.
Right.
So
Right.
even $1
Held.
would still be $70
Wow.
million just for $1 per person.
Yeah,
And I'm
just
sure it
for
was more than a dollar per
devastation.
person.
Yeah. Wow.
And so I think again, we have to remember it can happen to anyone, even if we're small. Small businesses, I think, are actually more at risk than medium to large size because they're easier to target.
Mhm.
They're more trusting. They're more like, oh, it's never going to happen to me. So they don't have all the security that the larger companies have. So I think that that's important. Our blog this blog is about cyber scripts. So we are going to talk through a script for you. We're going to give you all the secrets. It's a quick, easy one, and we're going to talk about retail business. I think we love a good retailer, and they're pretty robust. It's a nice size account to write, but I think that they're really at risk for cyber. So, Bobby, are you ready?
I'm
Are
ready.
you gonna be the one objecting?
I
Or
love a
you
good objection.
okay. All right. Who wants to be the phone? You could be the phone today.
Ring, ring.
Hi. No, just kidding. I had to be the phone because you have to because I'm the agent. This is the hardest part of role play, guys, is figure out who has to be the telephone. Ring ring.
Hi, my name is Bobby Fernandez from oh, wait a
Wait.
second.
Okay, so guys,
I am the phone.
this is part of the adventure of role play. I have to be the phone so Bobby, the retail manager, can answer it and I can talk to her about her insurance needs.
Oh, okay. See, we love role play.
We do.
How can we get
We
more
have to
awkward?
we have to clarify the roles in the role play so we can make the
Yeah.
magic happen. And you get to hear how awkward it is for us, and we do this all day. So just give your team some grace, but you still have to do role play with your team. It's not negotiable. Make it happen. Ring ring.
Hi, Bobby Fernandez here.
Hey, Bobby, it's Steven with your favorite insurance company. I wanted to reach out today to talk to you about some cyber insurance. I know that in today's digital age, retail businesses like yours are dependent on online transactions and digital record keeping, correct? Do you do
We
any
do,
online sales?
we do some online sales. Yeah.
So, what most people don't know is cyber insurance is critical for protection against things like data breach, online fraud, system downtime. And that could significantly impact your customers' trust and your revenue, right?
Yeah.
What how would your reputation in the community be if suddenly everybody's credit card number got stolen and they found out that it was your system that was breached?
I mean, that might not be good, but we really do have some strong IT security, and I don't know that we really need any additional insurance right now.
I totally get it. And that's great to hear that you have some strong IT. If you want, we'd be happy to jump on a call with them as well. But I think even they would agree cyber insurance is a great thing to have because it helps you manage your reputation. It's going to ensure your business remains resilient in the face of cyber threat. And we know that all cyber threats can't be completely eliminated. We want to make sure that you have an extra layer of protection to cover those unexpected costs and help with your reputation because those typically aren't covered by your standard policy.
Yeah, that would be interesting. I think if we could include our IT security to have the conversation, that would be helpful.
Beautiful. So what I'd love to do is just set up a quick appointment. Would next Tuesday at 2 work? And I'll get everybody over a link. You can let me know their name and I'll send over a link for a meeting and we'll get all set up to talk about that further.
Yeah, that would be great.
All right, Bobby. Well, thanks for your time today. Look forward to talking to you on Tuesday.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Bye.
Bye.
So it can be a little awkward, guys, but as we talk more about it and as we get more comfortable with it and as we hear more stories, I think it becomes very impactful just to be able to reach out and say, hey, you probably don't even know about this. Surprise, I'm here to teach you something new.
Well, and I like what you did there about including their IT security
Yeah.
people, right? So, because I might not know enough about it, I'm going to make a decision because I'm not that knowledgeable and I don't want to seem like like I don't know what I'm talking about. But the offer to bring somebody in that might be a little bit more knowledgeable that could help walk me through that process and see the value, I think was a great addition to that script.
My other favorite objection we normally get is something like, well, that seems really complicated. Like, I don't think we need it because I don't really understand it. And they're not saying that they don't understand it. They're just saying, yeah, no, that's really complicated. I don't think we need it.
Mhm.
But what they're really saying is, I have no clue what the hell you're talking about, and I don't want to sound dumb. Right. So I think we need to be kind and be like, hey, explain it like the Nana principle. How would you explain it to your yaya? How would you explain it to your grandma? Like,
Right.
how's Mimi going to find out about cyber in a kind way? So we
My
want to let them know
my
that,
my grandson's gonna scrape my credit card information off my iPhone and
I
buy
mean,
all of the games
I
on it.
mean, when I first started traveling, I had left my wallet on the plane. No credit card, no ID, nothing. And I get to the hotel and they were like, okay, cool. We just need a credit card. And I was like, I'm not going to be able to stay at the inn tonight. I'm going to have to go sleep on the street. And I was like, wait, tap to pay. I have tap to pay on my phone. I'm like, can I tap to pay? She's like, yeah. I'm like, remember, I'm like 100 years old, right? Like, I don't understand all these things. I
Yeah.
tap my phone. She's like, all right, here's your room key. I'm like, you don't need my ID. She was like, no, you're in our system and you knew the information. We're good. I'm like, great. So I could have just booked a hotel room online using somebody's Marriott account, known their name, and had a tap credit card and just been in the room.
I was wondering why I was getting so many points.
Right? Bobby, it's because I put all my travel in your name. Bobby's a very gender neutral name.
It is.
Maybe I should change my name to Bobby. Then I could be Bobby and you could be Bobby.
The Bob C twins.
Yeah, the Bouncy twins. Well, guys, we would love to work with you some more on cyber. We have some great scripts coming out and coverage explanation. I think it's important for your team to really get to know those coverages, even if it's not their department, so they can identify those needs and really just get more comfortable in having a conversation with the client, referring them to the correct department, or uncovering some things they may not have known much about. So we look forward to talking with you again. And as always, you can find us online at agencyperformancepartners.com, or you can shoot us an email or message and we're happy to respond. Until next time, friend.
We'll see you
Shoot 'em.
soon.